In the yogic lore, it is estimated Shiva or Adiyogi existed as a person. He walked this land somewhere between 60 to 75,000 years ago. When I first spoke this, all the more sensible people around me, who are not as naive as me, they're wiser people, younger people, they said, Sadhguru, if you say 75,000, they will blast you. The only archaeological proof that is there that Adiyogi or Shiva existed is about 12,600 years. You should say 12,600 or 13,000 or 14,000. I said, okay, 15,000. But actually, in the yogic lore, there is a clear aspect of… they're talking about celestial arrangements. These celestial arrangements, if you go by the modern astronomy, they existed only somewhere between 60 to 80,000 years, in that span. There is no two ways about it, the things that he's talking about. And now, of the Cambay, what's it called? What is the Indian name for that? I'm sorry. Kambat, is it? Yeah. Of the Gulf of Kambat, now they've done explorations. They actually went there to clean up the plastic. But then they found a city which is 5 square miles. And now international archaeologists especially from Germany and France, they have dated this according to carbon dating process, that it is a minimum of 32,000 years. 32,000 years ago, nowhere on this planet did a city exist. Not just a city did not exist, the idea of a city did not exist. But they had a city which is 5 square miles in size, properly, orderly way of doing things. It's been buried, they're estimating it has gone underwater for about 9,000 years. And similarly, of course, everybody has heard about Dwaraka. There are excavations which unfortunately now is the line of control between India and Pakistan, you can't touch it. If you dig, something else will happen, you'll hit the mines. So, there is enough proof today, archaeological proof to say, over 30,000 years ago, there was a civilized society here. Maybe not across the country, but in pockets it existed. So, this dating goes back like this, so I'm just saying over 15,000 years, so that when I travel west also I look sensible. Okay, 15,000, all right. 75,000, they'll resist because their idea of the world is only 3,000 years old. They said everything happened in 6 days and it's only 3,000 years old. Anything beyond 3,000 years is not scientific. This has been the approach, unfortunately. Now slowly they're correcting themselves without looking stupid, but it's utterly stupid. For all these centuries you insisted it's only 3,000 years, now you're slowly extending it because science comes and says something else. You will watch it in the next 50 years, science will come and say, modern science will come and say many things which we have been talking for thousands of years.
So, Sadhguru, Einstein said that time doesn't exist, but we seem to… somehow we are stuck in it. And you say that space took a cyclic turn and that's how we're stuck in time. Is it only our bodies or our mind? How is it exactly like…
Right now everybody is sitting here. Let's say we will make them sit here for next 10 days, just like this. Will they sit? No. Let's say we make them sit here for next 3 hours. Well, the body will keep time. If you forget also, suppose they're very interested in what we are saying and they forgot time mentally, the bladder will keep time. It will tell you when it's 3 hours for sure, isn't it? Your stomach will keep time. It will tell you when you're hungry and when it's time. So once you're embodied as a physical being, time is an essential factor of your life. And you know, in your experience, time is a relative experience, but in your body it is not so. It is keeping time all the time, because body is just a product of this planet and it keeps time. Right now, what is your idea of time? Planet spins like this, it's 1 day. Moon goes around, that's 1 month. Planet goes around the sun, that's 1 year. all our ideas of time is only because of the cyclical movement of physical nature. This is the nature of physicality. Physicality is always happening in cyclical movements. Whether it's an atom or the cosmos, everything is in cyclical movements. Without this cyclical movement, there is no physical existence. This is what we refer to in the yogic culture as samsara. Samsara means something that is going in cyclical movement. That means it is traversing the same path again and again, but makes you believe it is new all the time. So if you have a very short memory, you will see every time it comes, you experience it as new and you're excited about it. But if you have a very long vision of things, then you see the same thing is happening. The moment you see the same thing is happening, you will want to change it, isn't it? It is from this context, the idea of mukti or liberation comes up, because you see that you're stuck in the cycles of samsara. So the same thing is going round. Why is this happening? Because of our identity with physical nature. Because we are so identified with the physical self that we are, now everything that we do also goes in cycles. Cycles means we are going round and round. You know, in English, the term, if I say you're going round and round, it means you're not getting anywhere. So, the word samsara has been misinterpreted and gone into use in variety of ways. For example, in Tamil, if you say samsara, it means wife. She keeps you going round and round. I don't know how that usage came, but today in Tamil language, if somebody says, my samsaram, you are supposed to understand it's his wife, not his cyclical nature.
Okay, Sadhguru, now my question is that, do you think, like you said, in the scheme of thing and like in going round and round in this cosmos, somebody like me, I sometimes feel that the things that I want to do and the things that I feel for, is it pompous of us to think that we can do something for others, or maybe, you know, like the spirit of…
If you want to do something for others, please be pompous as you want, please do something, because a lot needs to be done in this country.
Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, so my almost second last question.
That's good, isn't it? I'm telling you to be pompous.
Okay, fine. I love being pompous anyway. So Sadhguru, I personally have read a lot of books about spirituality, and I've been following Swami Vivekananda from the age of 17, and I never really felt the need of a guru until I was faced with mortality. I lost a friend at the age of 25, and since then, I just feel that everything that I've done in my life, or every situation I've been into and I've walked into, I've always held my head very high, and I've always been prepared for it, I mean, as much I could. And I can't wrap my head around it. And when I read your book, I didn't instantly feel that I would be seeing this day, and I felt, okay, fine, I've read Buddha, I've read, like, you know, you're one of those enlightened people, yeah, sure. So, no, I wasn't impressed, let me tell you. But then I read, More Than a Life, and there is the mention of this yogi, Swami Nirmalananda, who waited for you all his life, and apparently you were supposed to guide him to Mahasamadhi. Now, Mahasamadhi is something that I've only heard of in stories and in myths and all of that, like where you willingly walk out of your body because you think that's the best thing to do at that point of time. Now, that seems too fantastic. And I mean, looking at how our societies, that euthanasia has been being legal now, and the kind of resistance, like when your wife heard about the process, she showed extreme desire to adapt to that, and she acquired Mahasamadhi in the middle of like thousands of people. It's written elaborately in the book. And Nirmalananda was opposed by the government. You know, he was not allowed to be able to take Mahasamadhi.
The liberals.
Yeah, because apparently they were like, you can't take Mahasamadhi. And so, I mean, don't you think like we as people, we have stopped to discuss death? Because shouldn't we be prepared for that day? And when I got to know that you can, I mean, since then I realized maybe you can help me someday. I'm not saying now, but someday. But when the time comes, don't you think I should be ready for it? I should be dressed like this and be like, hey, come, let's go.
What do you mean come? Who has to come with you?
Like whoever comes at that point of time.
So…
Why is it pushed under the carpet? Why don't we talk about depth?
It's not under the carpet, it's just that… That's why I said, all of us, we may call ourselves Indian, but our minds largely have become Western because our education is like that. And you do one thing in Mumbai, you go and just look at people below their knees. You will see at least 45% of the people are wearing only blue denims, okay? I'm not against it. I lived in it at one time for almost 7 years, 8 years. I wore nothing else but blue denims. It was like a philosophy, not just a clothing. So today that number has increased in a big way. It's American workman's clothes. It's spread around the world. And because workmen wore clothes which were… because of work, it wore out, you know. Our pants would wear out riding motorcycles, it would wear out, we would put a leather patch and this and that. But now people are buying pants which are torn, all right? Paying more for the tear, you also… So, why I'm saying this is, because of this imposition is not small, it's taken a huge footprint in everybody's mind. In this culture, we talked about samadhi. It's a very commonly used word, but unfortunately people think samadhi means it's a gravestone. No, samadhi means sama and di. Sama means equanimous, di means buddhi. If your buddhi or your intellect becomes equanimous, when we say equanimity, we need to understand this. The reason why you're using your intellect so extensively is because you've been trained to discriminate between this and this, between everything and everything. And we create… intellect is the thing which creates division between everything. For us to function physically in this world, I must know here which is me and which is you. I must know here what is a chair and what is a floor. Otherwise I won't know how to operate. So for practical purposes life, essentially for our survival, intellect is of paramount importance, no question about that. But this discriminatory dimension, if I ask you, I will leave her alone, okay? I will ask you, suppose there is a choice between having a sharp intellect and a dull or blunt intellect. What is your choice? You must choose, I'm going to bless you right now. Sharp. So essentially, intellect is a cutting instrument. It's a knife. The sharper it is, the better it is. It cuts everything. Why is cutting important? See, what is the nature of science that we learn today? If you went to a biology class, for sure, if you did not cut a frog or a cockroach, at least a flower you opened up. If you open up this flower, you will understand so many things about the structure of the flower, how it functions, everything, but you will not experience the flower because by the time you're done with it, it's finished. So if I want to know you, I think I must dissect you. I've come with my scalpel. You think by dissecting you, I will know you? By including you, I will know you. By embracing you, I may know you. But by dissecting you, I will not know you, isn't it? So the only instrument you have is a knife, and with that you try to do everything. I must tell you this. That was a time when I crisscrossed India on my motorcycle. It seems… where is Boman Irani, is he here? They're bringing back Java once again into the country, I believe. Well, I rode probably the SD motorcycles like nobody. I was doing around 55 to 60,000 kilometers every calendar year, just riding across the country without purpose. So at that time, I don't know whether I was in Madhya Pradesh or I was in UP. The whole night I've been riding. Early morning, I come to a place and I want to have some tea and rest for some time. Then, I always fix my motorcycle on the street by myself. But I thought I saw a garage. It was named, handwritten, Mubarak Mechanical Works. I looked at Mubarak Mechanical Works and whole night I've been riding, I didn't want to dirty my hands now. It was a simple thing, I had to just tighten the chain, just take off one link and tighten the chain, that's all I had to do. I thought this guy can do it. So this young, very enthusiastic mechanic came out. And I said, why don't you just take off one link and tighten my motorcycle chain. Then he came out. Then I saw the only two tools that he had in his hand was a chisel and a hammer. Then I said, wait. Then I walked into his little shack of a mechanic shop and looked inside. There was no other tools, only one hammer and one chisel. With this he does everything. Once he works on your machine, nobody else can work on it anymore, it's finished. I said, okay, Mubarak, you don't touch my motorcycle like this. So right now, a whole humanity has become like this. The only instrument they have is a knife. With this knife they cut, it's an efficient tool for cutting. Now you want to stitch your clothes, you stitch with a knife. This is what has happened to the denims. If you do everything with a knife, everything will be in tatters and it's horrible, isn't it? That's all that's happening to us. We are trying to handle everything with one dimension of intelligence that we call as intellect. There are other dimensions of intelligence within us which is completely unexplored. So samadhi means to get your intellect to a state of equanimity so that it does not interfere in your perception of what really is the nature of existence. Right now, the only thing that's interfering in your life is your thought process, isn't it so? If I ask you to sit and meditate right now, you think somebody next to you is going to poke you? No, they are fine. It's your own mind, isn't it? People say they're depressed, people say they're agitated, somebody is manic, somebody is angry, somebody is miserable. No, all this is not happening. The only thing that's happening is your intelligence is turned against you, you're not getting it. You think you're suffering because of something. No, your intelligence is turned against you and nothing else. You have a knife and you don't know how to handle it. If you have a knife and you don't know how to handle it, you'll cut yourself up. Do you need any assistance from outside to make yourself miserable? You're very efficient, aren't you?
You and you told him the techniques. And when he was about to get there, apparently the government got involved and like, you cannot do that.
In 1996, he announced, I'm 74.
Samadhi for that, but why die before 25?
Suicide is not a pleasant thing. Not at all a pleasant thing, because for a human being to see, when somebody dies, commits suicide, we're just thinking, okay, he committed suicide. It's not like that. You must look at what psychologically that person goes through to come to that decision. It's the most horrible part of one's life, where somewhere they feel so trapped, either by physical situations, financial situations or emotional situations, so absolutely trapped when there is no other way. This is when they take that kind of violent exit, which we call as suicide. And if someone tries to kill somebody, that somebody has some defense. They can fight, they can run, they can protect themselves. Some resistance is possible. But when you start hurting this one, this is the most helpless life. And it is the worst kind of torture that you can do is to torture this one, because this is an absolutely helpless life with yourself, isn't it? Somebody else has some defenses. So suicide need not be seen in terms of statistics, 1 hour they're dying. Even if one person commits suicide, it's a human concern. It must be a concern for the whole humanity. Why is this happening? You must understand, in this country, in 2017, 7,600 children below 15 years of age have committed suicide. Below 15 years of age, when they must be bursting with life and wanting to live. Below 15 years of age, if they want to commit suicide, what is it? We are somewhere driving ourselves to a certain desperation. One big cause for all this is education system. Unfortunately, it's the schooling system which is killing people. Because if you get 98, you're no good, you know. People will ask you, where is the other 2%? So, apart from this, there are various other things, economic things are there, emotional things are there, various kinds of things for a human being. Essentially, simply because there is no clarity about life in some way. See, youth means, it's life in making. Youth, the most significant aspect of youth is they're full of energy, it's a huge amount of energy. When I say energy, after all, our life is a combination of a certain amount of energy and a certain amount of time, isn't it? Time is ticking away for all of us at the same pace, it's going away. If you sit here, it goes away, if you stand, it goes away, if you run, it goes away, if you don't do anything, it goes away, if you sleep also, it goes away. Time is rolling for all of us. It's only energy we can manage. If you organize our energies in a certain way, what somebody does in 100 years, you could do in 10 years. It is just organization of one's energies. So youth means an exuberant energy. But most of the time, the problem with the youth is they don't have the necessary clarity nor balance. If you could bring 10% more clarity and 10% more balance in their life than the way they are right now, this energy would translate into something fantastic. Because this is one thing we need to do, because as a nation, we are talking about our demographic dividend, where 50% of our population is below 30 years of age, which is a unique situation. And it's a fantastic situation only if we give the necessary clarity and balance and competence to our youth. Otherwise, we can be a major disaster. Such a large youthful population, without necessary clarity, without competence, without balance, they could be the biggest disaster on the planet. But if we organize this well, we could be the greatest miracle in the world. So we are making this effort, and I'm putting 1 full month of my time traveling across the country, speaking in various universities and causing a buzz about this among the youth, speaking a very youthful language. You will see a very different Sadhguru.
I know, you can…
Because I will dress differently, speak differently, do everything differently with them.
Yeah.
Because I'm very youthful.
Yeah. So my message to all the youth who are going to participate in this, you can ask Sadhguru all kind of questions, about monthly cycles, about sex, drugs, all the scandalous questions which…
They know all those things.
No, they don't. Sadhguru, they are being a victim of drug overdose. There are so many, drugs has become a big epidemic, especially in schools and colleges. So guys, I look forward to those conversations and ask exciting questions. Okay,
this is being pitched as Youth and Truth, unplug with Sadhguru. Ask whatever you want.
Ask whatever you want.
Nothing is a taboo.
Yeah. So how much time do we have for questions?
Please.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru. I would like to bow down with all my knowledge and all my ignorance.
If you can hold the microphone, yeah.
Okay.
It's quite safe, you can hold it close to you.
Is this okay? Yeah. So, first of all, I like to bow down with all my knowledge and all my ignorance. Like, I can't tell you how much you mean to me. Okay. So my question is very simple. Whenever I go to watch a movie, I'm given a place and I can see the screen in front of me, hear the voice coming from somewhere, and I can understand where I am. But when it comes to my life, I don't know where I see things, where I hear things. Every night when I go off to sleep, I don't know where I vanish, where I come back from. Something within me is seeing me pass by all that experiences that I have in my life. I've been seeing it. But I can't figure out where I am.
No, she's definitely not asking me. I have the same question in my life. Okay, this is the last question we answer. Yes.
So, when we say we have patterns, this is what we said in a certain way. They made a calculation and said, in 28,000 years, the moon will go so far that its impact on the planet will become minimal. When that happens, the human women…
Thank you, Sadhguru. Thank you, Kangana. I think it was a session that was as engaging as we all thought it would be. And on behalf of Isha, we'd like to offer a small token of gratitude to Kangana.
Neha?
Thank you very much for being here.
हम परदेसी पंछी रे साधु भाई इन्हीं दे
Okay, Kangana, really good to see you. जब भी आप करती हैं सब कुछ कमाल करती हैं जो आपने किया, that is काबिल तारीफ है जो आपने किया, जितनी बेबाकी से
आपने सुना?
लेकिन मैं पूरा थ्रोट बैठा था और आप पे ध्यान था। बहुत बेबाकी से आपने सब कुछ पूछा। सबसे पहले जानना चाहूँगा ये सवाल था, सेट ऑफ क्वेश्चन था, ये आपको दिया गया था या आपकी खुद की मन की भावना?
नहीं, मैंने लिखे थे ये क्वेश्चन, मुझे किसी ने नहीं दिए। इनफैक्ट जब मुझसे पूछा भी कि क्वेश्चंस क्या हैं, तो मैंने कहा मैं क्यों क्वेश्चन बताऊं कि क्वेश्चन क्या है। सो आई वाज लाइक सो नो, दीज आर माय क्वेश्चंस। एंड वो मैं कई दिनों से सोच रही थी, और मुझे ऐसे भी सदगुरु से पूछने थे क्वेश्चन, तो मैंने सोचा मैं अकेले में पूछूंगी या पर्सनली हम 4-5 दोस्त पूछेंगे, तो ये बहुत ही पर्सनल सी कॉन्वर्सेशन बन जाएगी। मेरा कोई पर्सनल क्वेश्चन था ही नहीं, तो मैंने सोचा मैं इसको एक पब्लिक इवेंट के तौर पे, तो मेरी तरह जितने भी लोग कॉन्फ्लिक्टेड हैं, सिचुएशन के बारे में सोचते हैं, तो एटलीस्ट ये एक अच्छी चीज़ हो जाएगी जिसमें सब हिस्सा ले पाएंगे।
बहुत ऑनेस्ट जवाब, ऑनेस्ट तरीके से आपने बताया कि ये सवाल आपके थे, अमूमन कोई बैक ऑफ कर जाता, क्योंकि आज जिस तरह के माहौल है, आपने लिंचिंग का जिक्र किया, वो भी एक भावना आपकी रही होगी कि जिस तरह के हालात हिंदुस्तान में अभी हैं।
हम लोगों ने इस बारे में ही अंदर काफ़ी बात की है, और ऐसा नहीं है कि मेरे पास किसी चीज़ों के सोल्यूशन है। वो तो जैसे सदगुरु जैसे लोग हैं, मिस्टिक हैं, थिंकर हैं, जिनको आई थिंक सबसे अच्छी बात यही है कि हमारी सोसाइटी में उनके जैसे लोग हैं जो इस चीज़ों के बारे में सोचते हैं, और उनके पास उतना इंटेलेक्ट है जो कि इसकी बात, इसीलिए हम लोगों ने आज ये इंटरेक्शन रखी थी। मेरे पास तो इन चीज़ों के सोल्यूशन नहीं है, मैं तो आप लोगों की तरह देखती रहती हूँ और सोचती रहती हूँ कि क्या होना चाहिए, क्या नहीं होना चाहिए।
पॉलिटिक्स के बारे में no, we're not going to talk about politics. Keep it restricted to the event, please. Elections के nearby है।
Yeah, so I just feel that जो मैंने इस बारे में अभी अंदर बात की कि किसी को हेट करना या किसी के बारे में वो करना, वो तो चलिए ठीक है, अपनी पर्सनल भावना हो सकती है, लेकिन उसके अलावा देश को कैसे यूनाइटेड किया जाए, और उसको कैसे, जो इस वक्त हमारे देश की स्थिति है उसके बारे में क्या, उसके बारे में हमें बात करनी चाहिए, और ये पॉइंटिंग फिंगर्स एट ईच अदर, ये नहीं करना चाहिए हमें।
sacks its editors for writing or reporting against the PM or the government. Is there a fear among film artists also to speak against the establishment or make political content?
I think most of my contemporaries don't talk about it, because obviously I was hearing some other days one of my contemporaries was saying कि हमको तो पानी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी की प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, हम क्यों बात करें। दैट हर्ट्स, यू नो, लाइक यू कैन नॉट टॉक लाइक दैट। व्हाट काइंड ऑफ एन इंडिविजुअल टॉक्स लाइक दैट? यू आर अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस कंट्री एंड इट्स नॉट जस्ट अबाउट यू। आपके घर पे पानी आए तो ठीक है, आपके पड़ोसी के नहीं आया तो ठीक है, लेकिन अगर आपके चाचा जी के यहाँ नहीं आया तो आपको दर्द हुआ। सो दिस एटीट्यूड इज़ नॉट गुड। और मुझे लगता है कि हमेशा ही आर्टिस्ट का ये कहना, अरे हम तो प्रॉब्लम में पड़ जाते हैं, हमें बात नहीं करनी चाहिए। आप बात नहीं करेंगे, जो सक्सेसफुल लोग हैं जिनके लिए 25 मीडिया कैमराज इकट्ठे होते हैं, तो कौन बात करेगा? फिर आप फिर सक्सेसफुल हैं क्यों? फिर आपका मायना क्या है सक्सेस का? अपने पैसे कमाए, अपना खाए पिए, मस्ती की। दिस इज़ नॉट द रियल। आपको पेडेस्टल पे इसलिए नहीं रखा हुआ है कि आप अपनी छोटी सी ज़िंदगी जी के चलते बने। आपको पेडेस्टल पे इसीलिए जनता ने रखा हुआ है कि आप उनके बारे में भी सोचें।
कंगना, दो चीज़ें, आयु स्पिरिचुअल और ये योगी का थॉट कैसे आ गया? कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं कर रही हैं आप कि आप सबको छोड़ छाड़ के मतलब समाधि हो,
समाधि सब कुछ छोड़ छाड़ के समाधि? आई होप इतना मुझ में आए कुछ विजन या भगवान की ग्रेस हो, लेकिन अभी तो आई थिंक देयर इज़ अ लॉट ऑफ वर्क टू डू एंड आई वांट टू वर्क इन एवरी डायरेक्शन वेर एवर आई थिंक आई कैन। तो अभी छोड़ने का वक्त नहीं है, अभी तो वी विल डू थिंग्स एंड देयर इज़ टाइम फॉर एवरीथिंग।
बहुत वोकल हैं, जो हालात हैं देश में, पॉलिटिकली भी आप बहुत वोकल है। हाल ही में आपने मोदी की काफ़ी तारीफ की और कहा कि
अभी तो मैंने उसका जवाब तो दिया ना मैंने।
मैं ये कह रहा था कि क्या कभी आप पॉलिटिक्स को एज अ करियर एक ऑप्शन के तौर पे देखोगे
करियर
एक कंसर्न सिटीजन
नहीं, पॉलिटिक्स करियर नहीं होना चाहिए। मुझे लगता है जब भी कोई इंसान, अगर मेरे जैसे इंसान को पॉलिटिक्स में जाना चाहिए तो उनको पहले तो वैराग्य हासिल करना चाहिए कि जब भी आपको जनता की सेवा करनी है तो ऑब्वियसली इफ़ आई हैव अ फैमिली, आई हैव चिल्ड्रन, आई हैव टू गिव एवरीथिंग अप एंड देन ओनली आई शुड बी एबल टू सर्व द कंट्री। आई थिंक दैट शुड बी द इंटेंशन। करियर, पॉलिटिक्स में करियर, मैं इतनी सक्सेसफुल हूँ, अभी मेरा ये करियर है, मेरे को और कहीं करियर नहीं बनाना है, बट येस इफ़ आई वांट टू सर्व माय लैंड then the only option I see for myself is that I can't do it as where I have some vested interest in some other department, you know, because वो conflicting हो जाता है। तो I think जो भी लोग करना चाहते हैं करना चाहिए, मगर उनको किसी तरह से जो है वैराग्य हासिल करना चाहिए।
ये पूछेंगे उसके बाद मैं पूछूंगा लास्ट।
बताया कि चेंजेस के मामले तो फाइनली क्या किया गया?
उसके लिए आपको फिल्म देखनी पड़ेगी।
मेरा लास्ट रहेगा, जो भी होगा लास्ट मेरा।
आप बोलिए।
You spoke about really topical stuff inside with Sadhguru,
Yes.
and most of it was very enlightening.
Yeah.
You also touched about beef and cow lynching.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know some clarity. How do you see where India is heading?
हम लोगों ने उसके बारे में बात की अभी।
Sure, no, I just wanted to know where do you think India is heading at a time when people are being lynched for what they eat?
Yeah, no. We spoke about it, and also I'm not. अगर मेरे पास इसका आंसर होता तो मेरा
I mean, what's your personal opinion?
I gave my personal opinion inside. I mean, you heard that you feel conflicted. You know, you want to save the animals, but when the lynching happens, you feel heartbroken. What is going on? You feel this is wrong. You know, so I spoke about it.
कंगना, जैसे रिफ्यूजी और उसकी बात की गई,
जी।
आपको लगता है कि जैसे और भी उन्होंने कहा कि मिला लेना चाहिए, आपको लगता है विद मिस्टर इमरान खान कमिंग अप इन द नेबरिंग कंट्री, यू थिंक द थिंग्स विल इम्प्रूव?
Hopefully. I mean, we can only hope that we don't have to shed more blood. It's very unfortunate that our soldiers are dying, and of course the kind of speech Mr. Imran Khan has given is very, very nice, and I wish him all the best, and I with my folded hands I really hope and appeal that we have really beautiful relationship henceforth.
दिवस आ रहा है, उसके उपलक्ष्य में आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगी और शुभकामनाएं भी हमारी सर से होगी लेना चाहते हैं? पंखा लाओ।
ये लास्ट है।
Okay, so स्वतंत्रता दिवस की बहुत शुभकामनाएं सारे भारतवर्ष के लोगों को। थैंक यू।
मैम सर साथ में कंगना जी साथ में बस आगे मत जा कंगना जी राइट से जाओ घुसो रुकना। कंगना में यार कंगना जी साथ में बस आगे मत जा कंगना जी राइट से रुकना।